Did you know that scientists estimate the average person might be swallowing a credit card's worth of plastic every single week? Sounds crazy, right? But this claim isn't just clickbait. It has a scientific story behind it. The credit card figure comes from a 2019 study by Kala Sanatharaja at the University of Newcastle, which looked at how much plastic ends up in our food and water each week. They combined data from seafood, table salt, bottled water, and even beer to estimate that humans might ingest up to 5 grams of plastic weekly, roughly the weight of a credit card. The World Wildlife Fund popularized this finding, and suddenly, the idea of eating plastic every week went viral. But here's the catch. Not everyone agrees with this number. In 2022, a team led by Gruber argued that the credit card estimate could be hundreds of times too high. Their critique focused on how scientists combined very different data sets, different particle sizes, densities, and amounts of food consumed, which makes the total mass calculation very uncertain. Other studies like Mohammed Noor et al. Suggest the real figure could be as low as 4 micrograms per week, tiny in mass, but still significant when you consider the particle count. And that's the important part. Focusing on grams misses the bigger picture. Microplastics aren't just about weight, they're about particles. A 2019 study by Cox and colleagues estimated that humans ingest tens of thousands of plastic particles every year just from food and water. When you add airborne plastic fibers from indoor dust and air pollution, that number jumps to over 100,000 particles per year. That's billions of microscopic plastics entering our bodies over a lifetime. The biggest source? Water. Bottled water is surprisingly bad. One study found 93% of brands tested contained microplastics, averaging 325 particles per liter. Some advanced studies found up to 370,000 particles per liter, mostly nanoplastics, the tiny ones that are the most dangerous. Tap water is much safer, averaging about 40 particles per liter. Simple swaps like drinking filtered tap water instead of bottled water can cut your plastic intake dramatically. Food is another major source. Seafood, table salt, milk, even tea bags, all are loaded with microplastics. One study found a single plastic tea bag releases over 11 billion microplastics into hot water. Crazy, right? And it's not just what we eat. Humans breathe in tens of thousands of plastic particles every year. Indoor air, especially in cars or dust-filled rooms, can contain up to 60 times more plastic than outdoor air. Even our homes are full of invisible plastic invaders. So, what happens once this plastic enters our body? This is where it gets scary. Microplastics don't just pass through. They travel through your bloodstream and lodge in your organs. Studies have detected plastic particles in placenta, blood, lungs, liver, kidneys, heart, brain, spleen, and even feces and breast milk. Tiny plastic particles have even been found crossing the placental barrier, meaning unborn babies are exposed before they're even born. And it's not just physical irritation. Microplastics carry chemicals like BPA and phthalates, which can disrupt hormones, trigger inflammation, and cause oxidative stress. Research suggests potential links to heart disease, reproductive issues, and neurological problems, including effects on the brain and cognitive function. Some studies even found microplastics in arterial plaques, hinting at a connection to heart attacks and strokes. The reality? We're exposed to microplastics everywhere, every day. But the good news is there are steps we can take to reduce it. 1. Drink filtered tap water instead of bottled water. 2. Avoid heating food in plastic containers. 3. Eat fresh, unprocessed foods instead of packaged options. 4. Clean indoor spaces regularly to reduce airborne dust. 5. Limit synthetic clothing that sheds fibers. And while we can reduce exposure individually, systemic change, like stricter plastic regulations and safer alternatives, is critical to truly tackle this problem. So, are we really eating a credit card of plastic every week? Maybe not exactly. But the invisible reality is just as shocking. Microplastics are inside all of us, and the long-term consequences are only beginning to be understood. The question now is, what are we going to do about it? If this shocked you as much as it shocked me, smash that like button to show you care about what's really in our food. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. We're uncovering the hidden truths that affect your body every single day. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.